Welcome to the process, guys. Happy Wednesday evening. Welcome to Hot Topics. We're here with Celinda Bearfield and Alessandra Nicholson.
I'm
Welcome,
so
guys.
excited.
Welcome, guys. And guys, hey, you could call in tonight. The number is 559-825-5773. After the first 15 minutes, be free to call in and ask questions, share your opinions. We're all up for it. So, guys, we'll be right back. We're heading to a quick segue, a little commercial, and then we'll come right back. And guys, what you've all been waiting for, let's get into the intro. Welcome back to the process, guys. Happy Wednesday evening. Celinda,
Happy
how you
Wednesday.
doing? Alessandra, how are you?
I'm doing good. Celinda, I'm so excited that you're back with us. How are you this Wednesday?
Hey, family. Glad to be here.
Yes. Where we all started, right? Right back again.
We
Yes.
all started.
So, guys, I want to get into this this little hot topic right here. We had a poll on our Facebook group. If you haven't joined yet, it's called The Process. Let me give a little plug to Alessandra and her Facebook, Celinda and her Facebook group.
Oh, okay. You teed us up, but you didn't give us no shout out. What
Sterile
happened?
Processing Grapevine and Alessandra, the Conjure Institute. Okay, let me. Alessandra has the Conjure Institute, a great group on Facebook, and Celinda has Sterile Processing Grapevine. And guys, please join these groups. There's the great information and great content, and you can participate and ask any questions. So these two ladies are very into the field, and they can help you out with networking and any issues you have with departmental policies and procedures. So contact them, please.
if you
Yeah.
dare.
Yeah. So let's get into this one simple.
So
It's simple, but it's
before
not so
we get
simple.
into the
Before we get into it, all right,
poll,
cool.
Okay.
because I know you're so excited, you're like, let's go. All right, so tonight we're doing hot topics. We're going to be covering a couple things tonight. We've talked about the nurse case, RaDonda Vaught, that was just convicted of reckless endangerment. We're also going to be talking about another mental health crisis with nurses, a nurse that committed suicide recently. And then we'll lastly be talking about the latest and greatest warning letter from Karl Storz. So before we get into those topics, we're going to take a look at some of the social media polls and shout out to everybody in the comments that's with us tonight. We appreciate y'all supporting the show.
Yes, guys. Thank you for coming on tonight. We know some places are rainy, some places are really dry. Appreciate you coming. And if you're
Yeah.
still at work, thank you. Hide the phone, but keep listening. All right. So we had a little poll there on PPE. Should you be wearing latex gloves, or are latex gloves acceptable in the sterile process department? Is that a thing to go to nitrile gloves, or does it not matter to wear latex gloves? And the options were no, it doesn't matter, and yes. So, guys, what are your
Mm.
opinions on that?
So I would say that yes, it does matter just because latex allergies has been something that we've been dealing with for a while now as far as removing them products from our spaces. So it's almost hard for me to imagine that there is a space that still has latex on the floor, but I would say get it out of there. It's a low hanging fruit opportunity to bypass an accident.
Yes. I
What do
do
you
it all
think,
the time.
Celinda?
That's the first thing I thought about too were allergies. I
Right?
haven't even seen latex gloves, so I would know.
Yeah, and especially, I mean, the employees obviously are going to be the first ones impacted if we have those on the floor. But there's a potential there also for it to impact the patient. So right? Like that's what I'm with Miss Green Golden. I thought we did this already.
Like, what is that?
No, we didn't, because some people are
No, we
saying it doesn't matter.
Right? Some people are saying it doesn't matter,
Some
and
people
therein
actually
lies the
say it
issue,
doesn't
right?
matter.
Just
Yeah.
because it might be common sense somewhere doesn't mean it's common everywhere.
So
Yeah.
is the issue just the fact of the allergies? Is that the only issue with the latex gloves?
Ooh, that's the only thing that I've ever been
Okay.
Yeah.
taught to focus on. But I'm curious in the comments if anybody else knows. And I see, all right, so all the heavy hitters are already here tonight. We'll be doing hot topics. If there are folks that want to jump in, feel free to reach out. I'm happy to drop
Yes.
the links for y'all. Sharon Green Golden said we removed latex years ago. We removed it years ago. Monique jokes. Hey, Monique. She said, yes, many healthcare facilities have removed all latex gloves.
Some places still have it.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Unfortunately. Yeah.
Because
So
it
not
reminds me
maybe.
of like peanut allergies. You on an airplane. I remember being on a flight and they
Yeah.
said, we're not having any peanuts
No
on this
peanuts.
entire flight because of peanut allergies. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. I don't have an allergy, so I can't have peanuts.
Right.
So they just got rid of everything just to, I guess, appease or accommodate other people.
You know, gotta keep folks safe. But at that point, it's like a better safe than sorry. Because
Yes.
yeah, right. I could give you peanuts, but there's also 1,000 other snacks I could give you, in which nobody's gonna have to worry about going into anaphylaxis.
That is true.
Sharon Green Golden said, "Don't give people a reason." And yes, it does matter to those affected, and if your patients are affected. So there you go.
Yes.
I think I stand with that. So, what other polls did we have, Denard?
So I'm going to one more poll. Well, my links aren't showing up how they should, but I think they're still clickable.
Ooh, wait,
How
wait,
do
hold on. So Rebecca Peplo said one department used latex tubing on Kelly clamps for procedures, and they wanted us to reprocess them.
Oh,
That makes me very nervous. Very nervous. I'm curious too if that tubing had an IFU, because man, I always feel like I struggle with those. The tubing that goes on those like peen clamps. And yeah, okay, you already know. You already know. Oh, Sharon said, drop her a link. I'm on my way. I'm on my way. I'm in the Batmobile. Detail. Next poll, please.
all right. So we're going to the next poll. So, how do you feel about wearing watches in the sterile processing department? Is it a major violation? The options are: is it a major violation? Under the jacket is perfectly fine, or I don't see a problem with wearing a watch. What do you guys think?
Okay. I'm struggling a little bit with this one. So I'm not a watch wearer. And I only recently became a bracelet wearer now that I have exited stage left. So I'm not on the floor right now. Right, I got my nails done, I got my bracelets on, I got my rings on. I'm living my best life right now. But also I see so many people with that Apple Watch, and a lot of people text on it and get messages and stuff, and a lot of departments are communicating like that now. So I see people put it under their jacket, the cuff, and I don't know if it's covered. Is that okay? I mean, it's kind of like putting gloves on, right? But your hands still got to be clean. Gotta cover it, but it's got to be clean. I don't know.
Don't you tap the Apple Watch?
You do tap it. You can, right?
I'm just saying, if you have to touch it.
I'm just saying. He said, if you gotta touch it.
No,
what do you think, Celinda?
I have beef with it for the simple fact is, unless there's a particular watch that doesn't have any crevices or anything like that, like a smooth watch all the way around, and there's some type of process that you go through every day to clean it. People don't clean their watches. I've never seen a person clean their watches. People barely even clean their phones.
They don't clean their
phones. You know about the hair bonnets. Half the time people wear the same bonnet. They're not even washing their hair bonnets. That's why we have to wear the disposables on top. So I don't trust people to clean their watches properly. So I'm saying no bueno. We have a clock on the wall.
Amen. And on the computer and on the handhelds, and it's not like you're missing the time. That's true.
No,
that's true.
It's not like Vegas.
That is true. Okay, let's see.
Any comments on that?
You know, I have to agree with her, and especially when she brought up the scrub hats, because I know I'm one of the few that dissents, but I thought that was crazy when they rolled back the rules on that and let you bring them hats in from home. Because again,
Yes,
who's washing that, and how are they washing it, and how are they keeping it clean from the time they wash it to the time they get back, and
yes,
how many times are they grabbing it with dirty hands and not being able to
yes,
reprocess it before they go home? I just think it's gross, and we have disposables, so we don't need
yes. But
it.
they cute. You know how you looking kind of cute when you at work.
Right? It is cute.
But
I
yeah,
was a
no.
little
They're
late on that one.
cute.
I'm sorry.
It's a nice way to show, your personality. I get it.
Yes,
Yeah, you gotta get a nice little white, bangle on a little bread. You could switch it up every other day.
Switch it up.
You know,
Miss
it's a
Angie
good
Holland says if it's
accessory.
under your jacket, she says it's okay. I'll say this: I never stopped nobody and made them take it off.
okay.
You know,
Yeah.
well, I side out him like,
Yeah, but Amy specifically states watches.
watches.
Mm-hmm.
And what about personal belongings like money and cell phone? Right? Like, where do you end up drawing the line? We
Yes,
wear our uniforms to the bathroom and back to the department.
yes.
Right? Like, where do you drop? Where do you stop?
So where do you
Sharon
put
Green
your?
Golden said, "You're not at work to be cute."
Right.
I think
That
that's
sounds
that
like a
on
good
Hold
you.
up,
old
hold up, hold
Nickelback
up,
face.
hold up.
I love that. Yes, honey. Yes.
From the comment section. She haven't even clicked the
Yep,
link yet.
yep.
All
Oh,
right.
side question: where do you put your wrappers? In the department's trash or in the outside trash? That was a
Clean.
trick question. That
Are
was a
they?
trick question.
No, actually, that's a good question because are they soiled or clean?
What you mean?
If they're soiled, if they have blood on them, they shouldn't go in the regular trash.
No, I was just being corny.
Facetious.
Yeah, yeah,
We dropping dollar words on the process tonight.
yeah. So,
Okay.
we have some more comments there. No,
All
no,
right.
no.
Miss Sharon, I got a link out to you on the Facebook Messenger. Oh wait, you're over there on LinkedIn. I'll come to you. I'm in the Batmobile. I'm on my way.
Okay.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yes.
All right.
Cause
So when you eat snacks, where do you drop your your snack trash in the department or out the department?
you better not have no snack trash inside this department. You better not.
You don't put it. You don't inspect the trash cans.
Oh, now you didn't say do I inspect them?
Oh,
You didn't. That's not what you said.
You like when you see that Snickers bar at the top there, don't you
I
like
will
wonder how
cut
did
my
it get there?
eye. I will cut my eye.
Mm.
Have y'all ever had that happen before? Have y'all found food in your department before?
yes. When I first
Uh,
started sterile processing, we were eating candy in the department. I was new, and what we'd do, we had a drawer specifically for it, and we would put it in
mm.
the pill pack. We put it under towels. Everybody knew it was there. Even the lead tech knew it was there.
They said
And
we
then when
did
we
everything to
dispose
keep
of it,
that
no, we
candy
don't just throw it in
clean.
the trash. We put it in the paper pill pack, ball it up, and boop, right in the trash. I
I'm
swear to
gonna
God,
get
Woo!
I didn't
I'm
know
gonna get
anything
some
was
more sound
wrong.
effects because I
Right?
have
We
enough.
know. Now we know. Now we know. But at least it's
Mm.
honesty, right?
I did at the
Honesty.
beginning.
Yeah,
I don't do it anymore.
I had
No.
someone once upon a time bring a soda and was sipping it at the workstation, and
Yeah.
that was just strange to me.
Yeah. Definitely that. I've had employees bring all types of stuff into the department, and sometimes they have I don't know they I guess somebody previously had told them it was okay, so they're not even hiding it. So that's the cue to be
Right.
like,
Mm.
okay, so let's have a conversation, But yeah,
Yes.
don't bring that food back here, y'all. Monique
Ooh.
Jokes said clean wrap should be used for SPD Week fashion show. What can you create and what we waste? I
Yes.
love that. And
Yes.
I think we should add that to the marathon this year.
Yes.
To the 12-hour marathon. I remember we had an EVS director on and he talked to us about waste management. And y'all have to go back on YouTube and find the episode. It was so much good information. But I think that'd be great, a clean wrap fashion show.
Yeah,
Yes. That'd
man.
be
Let's
fun.
make it. Let's make it
Oh,
big. Let's take it to New York
let's
Fashion Week.
go. Fashion week. All right. Dante said I had an employee eat a burger in Deacon.
That's what I
Oh
wanted to
my
talk about.
goodness.
Yes. I've seen people eat a decon. What kind of
Mm.
person is that?
Hey.
It's one thing
With
to have your
or
little
without
candy
gloves?
in
That's what I want to
but
know.
you eating these
In their PPE, Dante, or just,
In
you
the
know, how was
PPE.
it? Paint a picture for us.
Mm.
Heck yeah, I've had that happen. I've come into my decon and employees are snacking on
Yes.
things. The one that really sent me over the edge was in our mask room where we were reprocessing those N95. Y'all remember when we were doing that? And yeah, they were eating fruit in the reprocessing room. So I mean, in their defense, it was very close to the cafeteria, but yeah, I was lost.
No defense. No defense.
I was lost. So it is strictly prohibited to eat snacks in the department, but some get snacks and candy in the change room. What should be done for such an attitude? Hopefully you have a management team that would be no nonsense about that and you could escalate it. I mean, but geez, I would also hope that you could come to somebody as an individual and be like, you know, you remember what we do here, right? And I don't know if you know this, but you're creating an avenue for germs and infection. And
well, you know, I'm diabetic, so I have to sometimes have a little piece of candy.
come on, I didn't heard everyone, and that's legit. So you know, so managers have to take those things into consideration too, because that might determine like how close you put break rooms to your work areas or water stations to your break areas, because some employees do have that.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh my God.
Hey.
Oh,
That's
Dante,
so
do I know
real.
that guy? I think I might know that guy.
That's so real. That's so real. Oh man, Monique, I remember the old school tech sharing with me how they used to place their lunch in the sterilizers. Yes. And heat it up with the door open to warm their food.
Yo,
I
that
guess
was
the
the
microwaves
best.
weren't in the hospital yet.
That's the best warmer ever.
Ever.
Oh my God. I got specifically like coached to do that because this particular place would do really big potlucks. And this was back when everybody used to cook their own food and bring it in. So, you know, they wanted that stuff nice and hot. And I was like, I didn't know. I was a baby tech then, so I couldn't fight them, but it happens.
Okay.
Were you certified? There's no baby techs, okay?
Oh no, I wasn't certified at the time. I worked in the field for almost 3 years before I even knew there was a certification.
I remember you saying that too.
Yeah. A long way
I'm
we've
gonna
come.
keep quiet. I'm just gonna keep quiet.
A long way we keep quiet. Are you hyper? Y'all wild in the comments tonight. So yeah, hey, it happens, and you deal with it accordingly. Just try not to let it happen. Oh, okay, all right. Miss Sharon Green Golden is here in the green room, so I'm gonna bring her up. All right, add to the stream. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Hello. How are you?
Listen.
Hold on. All right, everybody get started.
You look lovely today, Miss Sharon.
Thank you. Y'all don't know how hard this is. Y'all know I'm old and slow. I can't find the link.
We're in the same boat,
right? Searching just as hard for the link. You got it.
Where is the link?
The link. I had to hop in the Batmobile. I pulled up at the wrong spot first. I'm sorry, y'all. All right. So thank you so much for coming on with us and spending the evening.
All
our
right.
Hot Topics episode.
All right. So I know y'all passed this, but let me just say this.
Mm-hmm.
Back when we were putting latex tubing on peons, we didn't know what we were doing. We were just following. Somebody told us, somebody. And somebody don't even work there no more. That person left. And we're following things. If you have a patient that you don't know has a latex allergy and the peon clamps got latex on them, you're causing them more issues. Number two, you said it. Do we have an IFU that told us to cut off a piece of latex and put it on the peon clamp?
All right.
No. So as we have grown as professionals and we learn right from wrong, when you don't know, okay, you don't know. But once you know, you must follow the rules.
And I'm so glad you said that.
As for your watch on your arm and being cute, when you're working, you know that watch can harbor bacteria under the watch. I've been doing this 30-something years. I've had people wear their diamond rings and lose their diamond. Nobody gonna see your diamond in the tray when they find it. We didn't see it. I'm just gonna take that diamond to the store and give me a ring.
They said thank you.
You know, I found a ring about 2 months ago. It's 24 karat gold band. It is gorgeous. Somebody lost their ring. Won't nobody raise their hand and say it's theirs. I'm like, you need to claim your ring. You are probably in trouble at home. But the bottom line is that some jewelry you shouldn't have. We used to take our jewelry off when we worked on the floor, when you're actually working on the table. Now, let me make a distinction. I think if you're picking cases, you can wear your watch. If you're putting trays together, knowing that the instruments that you're working with are going to touch somebody's body, I think you should follow the best practice that is listed in Amy and AORN. I think you should take your watch, your rings off. Ladies, I used to say, don't pin them to your shirt, pin them to your bra, because you should have your bra when you go home. I've thrown rings away on a shirt because that's the right thing to do.
That's the right thing to do.
You know, it's just like the reason why we can't have nails. Once they find your fingernail in the tray, it's too late to start saying what we should have done. You know you shouldn't have nails on. I tell my people, get them press-on nails, be cute all weekend on Sunday night before you go to bed. Get back to real life.
Gotta go take it off.
Them nails off. Because we have found fingernails in trays.
And I was just about to say, I don't know if it's better or if it's worse now that the press-on nails are really making a comeback, because at least you're not getting the whole full set and then trying to take it right back off because that's expensive. But also, I don't want to find your individual tips in my kits. So there you go.
Well, wait a minute. What about if you just wear gloves on prep and pack? Some people say, well, I just put gloves on when I'm over there, so why I can't wear my nails?
Because you shouldn't have nails on. That's the standard.
But
same reason why you shouldn't be speeding on the highway. People do it, but once you get the ticket, there's no need to talk about the other folk. You just take your ticket and pay it. So,
but with the gloves on, your nails not coming off. You're not.
No, your fingernails can come through the glove, baby.
Okay.
Don't play with me. Take the nails off.
I just said it's possible. You can have good gloves. Who said you're not running around with 2 mil or 3 mil gloves and you got short, blunt nails on?
Okay. All right. But I got to ask. Okay. So now that y'all both have made these distinctions, Miss Sharon, so the skull caps are okay per the standard. But to Cylindra's point, if you wear the skull cap, you put the disposable hat on top of it. So wouldn't that be the same as me having nails and putting a glove on?
I don't think so, because the standard is the bacteria that is harbored under your real nail and under the gel nail is not the same as the skull cap on your head. Now, let me just say, you're right.
I can get
people wear caps. You're supposed to change your cap every day. Skull cap, you're supposed to take that off and go wash it somewhere and put another cap on tomorrow. Now, people don't do it. Because people don't do it doesn't make it right. You cannot go with the wrong crowd and say you're professional. Now, we're professionals. We're supposed to be following some standards, not trying to make the wrong standard work.
Right. Very
so
true.
With gloves on, you're supposed to take your gloves off every hour or every time you go to another tray. You're supposed to take it to a tray. You finish that tray. You pack it. You take it to the pack and prep area. You take your gloves off. You wash your hands. You go get some more gloves. And you start with another tray. How many people actually do that?
I've never seen it done.
People keep the gloves on till time to go eat.
Yeah, till it's time to break.
Yeah.
You done scratched your head, scratch your nose, you done scratch your behind, and you're working on my tray.
Man, you're working on my
I don't appreciate it. But there's a standard that says you're supposed to take the gloves off. Now, I'm old school. I don't work with gloves. I want you to do your job in decontam and with the washer decontaminator, with the cleaning. I should be able to handle those instruments barehanded. You can't feel certain burrs. You can't feel certain dents with gloves on, people.
Yes. I always felt I always felt like everybody thought it was weird for that. Like you're trying to be like the instrument whisperer or something. But I'm like, I can't feel everything I need to feel.
Yes.
And to
with a
your
glove
point,
on.
if your trays are coming out consistently enough that your staff have enough of a concern to wear their gloves, then we need to be slowing down and looking at our processes
Yes.
anyway.
Right.
Because that should not be happening. The employees should feel safe about their team members' products.
Listen, if I gotta wear gloves, now the reason people started wearing gloves is because I couldn't trust you
Yep.
over in decon. So I put me on some gloves.
Mhm.
But if I can't trust you, like you said, we need to fix the problem.
Fix the problem.
And the problem is we need to do some teaching,
That's
some
right.
mentoring as to why you can't clean the instruments so that when they come through that washer decontaminator, I'm able to handle them barehanded.
That's right.
Now, I've been there where I've had a laparoscopic instrument, and you go over to the area to flush and blow, and blood comes out, and I fall out on the floor. You get because I think you're trying to kill me.
I'm legitimate. I was about to say, because I'm legitimately concerned for my life at this point.
I think you're about to kill me. I think you're playing this. You set me up.
Yes.
You're trying to kill me. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to work with you. Now, my employees would tell you that when they cannot clean according to the IFU and clean according to the rules, I put them in decon forever while we learn. You may never see the light of day.
Don't come out until
you will be over there until you learn it, or I get rid of you.
Come on.
Because
the
most
until you get in, get out.
The most important part of your job is cleaning. We can't do anything else until you clean.
Yes.
I can't do part 2 till you clean. And if you can't clean, I don't need you on my team.
Wait, how long do they have before they can get, handle on cleaning? Do they get a week? Or depends on their background?
I had one gentleman that I was teaching personally, and he was over there for 30 days. After 30 days, he saw the light of Jesus. He was able to clean stuff. He got himself together.
Okay.
Because that's a rough 30 days.
Yes.
But I put the accountability statement there. If at the end of this 30 days, your instruments cannot come through clean, we got to part ways.
There we go.
This is not the job for you.
Not the job.
I've had too many surgeries to have crazy people working with the instruments.
That's right.
I don't know when I'm coming in.
That's right.
And I can't call Alessandra and say, could you get over there and do my tray?
Right. Exactly.
Right?
I agree.
So I need the tray done right all the time, just in case it's me.
That's right.
That's the reality.
That's the reality.
So we want to get paid the big bucks. We deserve the big bucks. But if you're going to get the big bucks, as they say, if you're going to play, you got to pay.
Come on.
If we want the money, then we've got to do it right. And I know there are hospitals that do it wrong. I got I was on the email link where the lady said that their low temperature sterilizer stopped working, and somebody told them to go buy some peroxide. Now, y'all know that's just wrong. I said, how did you know how much peroxide to buy? And did you go to the Walgreens and buy some peroxide and y'all poured it in a container and y'all was doing the scopes? She was like, yes. I was like, where are you at? Because I need to call the police.
Absolutely.
All right,
wait now. She wouldn't tell me where she was at. She would only tell me she was in Arizona. And I said, this is just wrong. You went and got the little brown bottle of peroxide and you call yourself sterilizing something? She said she went to the administration and said everybody online was falling out and they told them to stop, which was a good thing.
There you go.
But you have to do it right.
That's right.
That's why we have best practice.
That's right.
Right?
Come on.
That's why we're not regulated. I wish we were. If we were regulated, things would be different.
Now
we're not regulated, but until regulation, you still should do it right.
Please.
I'm just saying.
Speaking of regulation, before we jump off, I do want to let's see. Jake McHugh had a question. This brings up another question. I know a lot of facilities that don't allow liquids or brushes for inspection of cannulas on the clean side.
Well, ask Jake what kind of liquids is he trying to have on the clean side.
Jake, what you got?
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Because I often see sterile water. I also sometimes see alcohol. But it's been a big debate about the cleaning brushes that they cannot be on the assembly side.
What does Amy say about brushes on the clean side?
It's a cleaning tool.
I refer people back to the standard. What does the standard say about brushes?
Yeah.
And if you put the word clean in front of it, and you are cleaning, or as Madeira would say, if you cleaning, you need to be on the clean side.
Yeah.
The dirty side. That is the purpose of getting boroscopes, people.
That's right.
I have two. I have
I was about to say, I mean, does that just mean somebody's missing a marketing opportunity to call it a cleanly check brush? And spell it for the other side.
There are actually clean testing swabs that a certain manufacturer sells for lumens.
There we go.
So
Jake
that
says sterile water and alcohol on the clean side.
Okay.
All right. What if it's labeled?
I think I have to, realistically, what does your policy say, Jake? I only have sterile water on my side. Only sterile water. And if anything, if I thought I saw something fall out, the whole tray is on its way back to the.
It's on the way back.
Pipe cleaners, they can leave lint inside your cannulated item. And that particular bit of lint can be pushed into a patient's surgical site. And that patient could come up with an infection from the lint in their surgical site because no one saw it fall in there.
That's right.
So 6 weeks later, when this patient's in pain, thankfully to your pipe cleaner trash that fell in their surgical site, they don't even get the opportunity to tell you thank you for the trouble. So I think that you have to find items that work that don't. There are items out there, and I know that hospitals do not like to spend the money, but that's where you get your IP to come down and go to the C-suite with you to explain why we need to buy what we need to buy.
Right.
We don't, I don't like those certain things I just don't like.
There you go. I agree. And
somebody said something about they have a policy. I would just
so Rebecca Pablo, she said, what about creating a policy that states brushes on the clean side are inspection tools only in lieu of the pipe cleaners or boroscopes?
I will say this, politically, if your policy says y'all can jump out the window, then you can jump out the window. That means it's right. And they'll have to accept that. What the commission will say is we advise you to change that policy. But you can have your policy protects you at that moment. Because when they read the policy, it says we're using brushes as a inspection tool. They have to accept that at that time. But I will tell you that if you got a good inspector at the meeting, they're going to suggest that you fix that policy.
And I would add to that too, even though you want to say that we're just checking or inspecting, you see people cleaning. As long as those brushes are here, people.
I've seen people actually working on stuff.
Yes.
So therein lies the problem, right? If you give an inch, you're gonna take a mile. And people they be over there scrubbing, and it's like, oh no, you know you have crossed the line because you're literally cleaning on the clean side.
Look, they over there working hard. I'm like, what are you doing? I think there's a little something on here. I said, baby, you need to go to the other side.
But a question, are the brushes on the clean side single use, or are you using it for multiple instruments?
Oh no, they be hanging out with them brushes all day at their workstations.
That might have to be in a policy also. So if you use it once and it comes out dirty, you might need to use another
instrument
one.
Channel brush. You heard it here first.
Then the price goes up.
All the brushes I have come with the IFU that say whether they're single use or reusable. And if they are reusable, I will tell you the policy at my little tip is at the end of your shift, you send your brushes through the washer.
Right.
We use reusable brushes.
Right.
And what I want to see is brushes coming through. Brushes coming through. You cannot clean. And we have lots of brushes. You can't clean with the same little nasty brush all day long.
All day.
That's like taking
somebody said scrubbing and spreading.
I'm old. Back in the day, they used to have one tub of water. They started with the baby, and then eventually somebody got in last. Who want to take a bath in the dirty water?
Not me.
Not me.
Mhm.
Not me.
So you got the same little nasty brush you've been
Yep.
using happily all day long. You just
Yep.
the brushing and the
Nice
Rubbing
and
and
brown,
spreading.
a brown brush.
Oh my
All this
goodness,
color.
this is such a good conversation. As we wrap that up, Hank Boss said we need more solutions. There are not enough options. Brushing isn't good on the clean side. Flushing doesn't get it every time.
It doesn't.
Couldn't agree more.
right.
All right,
We do need options, but until you get options, you follow
you
the
doing?
process you have, and
There
you
you go.
follow the standards that you have.
There you go.
You know.
All right. So speaking of
You
following the
right,
process,
Monique? You
and
throw them brushes
speaking
away when they look like a flat toothbrush.
flat toothbrush looking crazy, right? Okay, Danny, they be out here brown as ever. All right, so a little bit hotter topic because y'all have touched on a couple things about when we should know that we should not be doing something versus when it's a process issue. And this week, we just saw a nurse be convicted of reckless endangerment to her patient over what she is saying is a process issue. And I guess the jury is saying was all her fault. So if you guys are not familiar with this case, let me drop a link real quick. I'm gonna give a couple of details, but this is a massive thing that has been going on since prior to COVID. So a nurse named RaDonda Vaught, she was working as a neuro ICU step down nurse at Vanderbilt, and she had an opportunity to be basically in a float position. And so she got a call to go give meds to a patient that was not her patient. She went down to get the medication. She goes to the Pyxis. She tries to type in the medication she needs. It doesn't come up. How many times have we went to the tracking system and it didn't work right? And basically, she did a workaround. And so, doing that workaround, she pulled the wrong medication. It was actually, I believe, some type of sedative. And she gave it to the patient. The patient was waiting in radiology, so they were not attended. And that patient was paralyzed and eventually had loss of life in that facility. So, this particular nurse, all the way through since the time this event has occurred, she's taken responsibility for her part. And she was very frank about the fact that she had become complacent. She talked about her mistakes, about bypassing the Pyxis. She talked about the fact that she was training staff that night. And she was eventually let go. So there were some twists and turns. She was let go. She was brought up for nursing review. She wasn't initially reprimanded, but sometime later, the DA in Tennessee decided to press charges. And so she has subsequently been convicted and also then was sent back to review, in which they subsequently took her license. So we've seen nurses in an outrage about this story. It's impacted the nursing field, the healthcare field especially. And as RaDonda was convicted, she made two key statements that I'd love to discuss with you guys. The first thing she said was that this is going to change everything in healthcare, will never be the same. And she also said that this is going to scare people into not telling the truth. So I have been reading about RaDonda's case all day. And I have not been able to decide how I feel about it. I've gone back and forth from positions as a tech, versus putting on my manager hat. And there were times during the today where I went, I think it's unfortunate that this situation happened, but obviously there were missteps that you've admitted to and you subsequently convicted. I'm having trouble being upset about that, but also given that I can see clearly as a manager the many, many process breakdowns that took place there. If she's being convicted, I guess my concern is why aren't there more people on trial for this?
Well, I'm gonna say there are not more people on trial for this because they didn't get caught.
Because they didn't get caught.
Okay.
Man.
Giving the wrong medication when the bag says this is penicillin and you're supposed to be given aspirin. You're supposed to read. I'm going to go there. You're supposed to read. I don't care what your workaround is. You're supposed to read.
That's right.
We call it good catches at my hospital. They seem to have them every day around drugs out of the pharmacy. Somebody got a good catch. They didn't kill the patient.
Right.
But it's always due to human factor not following the rule.
That's right.
So the Pyxis is locked down, and if it's locked down and you can't get in, then really technically you should be at the pharmacy saying, I need this drug. I can't get it out the Pyxis. And the patient needs it. I can't give it until you bring it to me or until you make it so that I can get it. I think that I haven't read her story, but there have been other stories where nurses have given the wrong drugs, killed patients, and done things. I'm doing a part 2 on what I call missteps and mistakes in SPD, because we do them every day.
Every day.
And we push them under the rug. Everybody got a good SPD. No, you don't.
You know?
Just
And there were moments in her case like that.
You don't know how many people you've killed.
Yeah.
Because they hadn't got to us yet.
Yes.
And man, and that was heavy on my mind was, how can I feel so convicted about whether or not she was in the right or the wrong? Because one thing I do know is we're so far removed from our mistakes that even if we happen to harm a patient, the likelihood of us being brought up on charges is slim to none. And those nurses are right there on the front line. They're taking that heat. I mean, yes, there were physicians involved. There were other nurses involved. Again, this wasn't her primary patient, but ultimately she was the one that gave this drug. And to your point, Ms. Sharon, with the Pyxis, it also gave several warnings about the type of medication that was being taken. And it made me think about alarm fatigue. When how many times does those alarms pop up and you clear, because you gotta go, right?
Right. But you have to set the standard. We had a tray, I guess, a month ago. They wanted it really. You all know I have a T-shirt that says, "We can't clean fast. Don't ask."
I need that.
I cannot. I tell the doctors and the nurses at our meeting, do not put us in the position to have to challenge you on the tray, because we're going to challenge. We're not coming, and the more you call, the slower we're going to get. Because at the end of the day, I have to clean according to the IFU. First of all, it told me to soak it for 5 minutes. I can't get around to soaking 5 minutes. I got to soak for 5 minutes. True. Then some of them now say you got to brush to the right 4 minutes. You got to brush to the left 4 minutes. You got to stick something down the middle. You got a whole lot of stuff you got to do. So we will be there as soon as we legally can. Don't ask us to go fast, because we don't have a fast mode in cleaning. Yes. But how many times do people do the little swish, run with it?
Yes.
Number one, it says we're not supposed to be doing instruments for IUSS unless it is absolutely positively necessary. Well, half the time, none of them 3 words not even in the equation.
Yeah, no. They changed the meaning of emergency so many times they don't even know which way is up.
Right? So I go and tell my rooms, listen, get yourself together, stop dropping stuff on the floor. We will not be back until we've cleaned it and processed it according to the IFU. But we make mistakes, and we say that they haven't gotten to SPD yet.
Right.
YET. Yes. The more we claim professionalism, the more they're going to come find you.
Yes.
We have tracking systems, your name on the tray.
Come on.
Right?
Your ticket will get pulled.
I did it.
Yes.
Here you go. And it's been many years. I've only done one court case as a subject matter expert where they asked me to read an IFU. And they asked me, did I think in my professional experience that my team should be able to understand that IFU? They're getting closer to getting us, y'all.
They're getting closer.
I had to sit there and say,
they're getting closer.
Yes, because number one, we require that you have a high school education.
That's right.
We require that you're able to read at least at the 8th grade level.
Mm-hmm.
This particular IFU was very clear what it said do. And like you said, what the person said they did was nowhere near what the IFU said do.
Right.
Well, you harmed the patient.
You heard him.
I can't uphold you. You harmed the patient because you didn't follow directions.
Yes. Yeah, I say off with her head.
And I can't justify that because the patient's harmed, and I tell you the truth, if it had been me, I would be suing too.
Yeah.
Right. So that's what I thought was unique about this case. With the patient's family actually was not advocating for this particular nurse to be tried. And they, we're talking about the fact that they forgive her for the mistake that she made. But because of prosecutorial discretion in Tennessee, the DA was able to press charges on his own. So I found that to be interesting, especially because she originally went to peer review and they sent her on her way. And it wasn't until the DA filed charges some year later that the Tennessee Board of Nursing put her back up for review and then took her license. And then we saw that there was an anonymous complaint filed, which seems to be what kicked this off. And the process actually worked the way it's supposed to. They got the anonymous complaint, decided to show up to the facility, and actually discovered there were several issues with the policies and procedures. But the hospital was able to do what we know we see them do when they get Joint Commission findings. They were able to submit a plan for remediation and work that. And thus, they are not being put on trial. And then they were also able to, do a couple of packages with the patients and sign NDAs. So they're not being tried in that fashion as well. So, like you said, Ms. Sharon, at this point, she's the only one left out in the code to be tried. And she is now facing up to 8 years in prison. For
every once in a while, somebody becomes the scapegoat.
Somebody.
Yeah.
Somebody. Yeah. So that makes me want to roll back up to a comment that Hank made. And this is actually what my original conviction was. I was hot reading this stuff this morning. So especially when she made the comment that this is going to make people afraid to tell the truth, because I just wondered at what point had they been telling the truth? If your facility had a long track record of getting these reports and doing something about it, this error likely would not have occurred. But we often don't report. And one of the key issues of her case was that she was asked to not put critical information in her reporting, such as the fact that she had put in the wrong medication at the time of the event. So it's like you picking and choosing when you tell the truth. And that's how we've created this environment where these errors are going on. Public has no idea. Agreements are being signed. Everything's getting swept under the rug. People are being fired and nobody's safer.
Group thing. Everybody has a group thing.
Well, Hank has down here, we already don't tell the truth about errors. I don't think we can say we. I think you can say some, because I'm transparent. Every time my folk do something, listen, they don't want, they hate for me to know anything about it. Now, what I don't know. But I reported infection control right away. This is what we did. This is how we did it. This is what we were supposed to do. I put it out there because I'm going to tell you, when you hide stuff, it will eventually come back to bite you. Yeah. It will eventually, it might not get you now. And so, my piece with Monique and Tanya, we're going to finish it up, come back and finish it. Missteps and Mistakes. I wrote that because I'm being transparent about stuff people doing that is wrong. We burned the patient's liver because we did not do insulation testing. That's the one we caught.
That's the one we caught.
And I think it's important to point that out.
It's important.
Because if you don't point it out, then it creates a culture where everyone believes that they don't have to say anything, they don't have to do anything because nothing's being done anyway. So it becomes a culture of that group thing where everybody just think the same and don't want to stand up or say anything. Like someone said in the comments, they don't want to get in trouble or ostracized.
So in that instance, what's the obligation of the facility to put that nurse in a position to be successful? Because
this is the question.
She was multitasking on that whole entire shift.
Right.
She was multitasking. She said that she was comfortable with the fact that she was multitasking. Her position was a float position. So she was only being called to fill in, to help with other nurses, like if they needed sign-offs, or in this particular instance where she was giving meds on behalf of another nurse. So, I mean, what they found was some of the things that were violated were already in their policies. They didn't really have to go back and remediate because there were steps that were missed that were already there. But they also added several new sections to their policies, which lends itself to think that if a manager had taken the time to look at that process, they may have come up with these things on their own. So I feel like there is a major responsibility on the facility's part to make sure that the employee is competent, that they've been trained and they've been signed off. But I mean, to Sharon's point, once you've been let out the gate, it's on you to follow the policies and procedures. And you did not do that. And unfortunately, this time, someone lost their life.
Integrity,
liable. They should be liable too.
Integrity is doing what's right when nobody's looking.
Nobody's looking.
Don't nobody have to stand there and say, oh, you should have did it like this. Integrity. So we're not giving drugs, but we're doing instruments. And the way you take care of and check your instruments, no one can stand behind you all day and watch every step. We have to work with your integrity. We're teaching you this is how it should be done. If you got questions, stop. Stop. If you think you're doing it wrong, stop. No one gets in trouble. Really. I tell my team, you don't get in trouble for asking a question. You get in trouble for not asking before you did something. You know. And anytime you get a thought, you know how people say, well, I thought I should have, you should have stopped. Stop. I thought I should have stopped. And I understand she was multitasking, but her license was on the line. As nurses, the one thing you hear us say all the time is, I'm not putting my license on the line.
Now, I've used that defense on the floor.
No, but you have to be willing to back it up, Alessandra. You have I'm not putting it on line.
I backed it up.
Have to leave y'all. And when I leave y'all, I'm going to be on channel 10. Wait a minute, I'm gonna be on channel 10 telling them why I had to leave. That part
I hadn't done yet, but don't give me too many ideas, Miss Sharon.
So
now
they be pushing.
I'm gonna have to leave.
Push it. Because here's the thing: even if you are the type of person to have this high amount of integrity, and I love this conversation that's happening in the comments. I wish I could get to everything, but I think part of the issue is even if you are the type of person to stand up to everything, you know it's wrong. You're not the boss. So if somebody else is coming through and they're telling you it has to be done this way, now we have to have some real world conversations about what can somebody literally force you to engage in, right? Nobody was standing over her shoulder telling her that she had to pick this up. She had to, had to do it this way, go faster, right? That was part of the issue, was she was mostly on her own. But how do you rectify this when to Sharon's points, I love you, Sharon, but IFU non-compliance is a systemic across our industry. The truth is we all struggle with this and it's not even tracked. So I thought about...
Let me just say for Hank, it's not tracked everywhere. See, we have a tendency to put everybody in the same basket. Don't do that. Say it's not tracked for the people you've been dealing with. I can pull papers where I track non-compliance. I track the missteps I know about. I track the mistakes. They're up in infection control, so we can pull them 10 years from now and say, yes, we didn't do what we were supposed to do. But the thing is, we don't have to fight with each other. We have to learn from each other and say, well, how do you do it, Sharon? Because maybe we should start trying. We haven't done things in sterile processing because we're not regulated and nobody said we had to do it.
So that's
go
where
to
I
a
was
little hospital down in Jimmy Joe, Jacatwaka, Arizona. They don't even have a washer. I went to a hospital here in Maryland. They didn't have a washer. They're doing total joint instruments, all kinds of stuff. I said, am I in Bangladesh? Because in Bangladesh, we don't have no rules.
Right. And I think that's something that we get away with. We get to pretend and think that everything here is so advanced and so fancy. But no, you get out here in the field and you start to see what departments are dealing with, type of equipment they have, the budgets they have, and you begin to wonder, what are we really doing here? Especially when a lot of times they will have high-tech things in their OR, but not in their SPD. So you got your Da Vinci robot upstairs, but I'm down here hand cleaning arms. I think not.
You sending nasty arms for the Da Vinci robot. Just go ahead and say it.
Like Joanne said, people got to have the courage, and that's scary too, because a lot of times you end up being on an island all by yourself. You end up being the bad guy. You end up being blackballed. You can't even find a job.
Being fired.
You're a troublemaker. Yeah, you get fired.
Right.
So that's bringing up patient safety issues, and to me, that is insane.
It's insane.
That's why you have to work those IPs. You have to work them. Because they have
if they know what they're talking about.
I'm saying sometimes they don't know.
Didn't see nothing wrong.
Look, they don't know, but if you do know, your job is to help them to know. I bring mine downstairs. I bring mine downstairs. Come down here.
Yeah.
Come down here. Put on some scrubs. We got a problem. Right. Now the thing is, I'm able to justify the problem I'm talking about. and I'm going to be the big voice. They're going to be the amen corner.
Right.
I don't need them to know everything. I need to know.
Right.
And they're the amen corner, and we, because they have the ear of the C-suite. I have the knowledge of whatever is going on wrong at that time.
I've seen it go both ways,
That's
though.
the world that is.
I've seen it go both ways. I've seen IP come down and be a resource. I've also seen IP come down and get played. And I do think
Sure.
that, there's a difference between a single facility and then this industry-wide concern, right, about whether or not we're doing it the right way. We know we're not. And then when we start playing the blame game of who should start to go to prison, I don't know where you stop that train. Should her supervisor, should her manager be in prison with her? Should her CNO, should her CNE be in prison with her? Should her presidents be in prison with her?
Yeah.
Should the board members that passed her through the first time be in prison? I mean, how many? Where do we stop? Because
people jump on and off trains. People jump on and off trains. They're on the amen train as long as it's going this way. Soon as the tide turns, they get off.
So I have a question. So during the pandemic, when we had the nursing shortage, did that happen? Because nurses were even more stressed out at that point in time. How many
deaths? This particular incident occurred right prior to the pandemic. Now, she was a nurse of 2 years, so she wasn't, highly seasoned, but she graduated from her program, was let out the gate, right? But yeah, this was prior to the pandemic, and part of the reason why we're only seeing it now is because the pandemic slowed down her reviews and her trials. Now, I had a moment with this because I've told managers, I've left facilities because I will not engage in behavior that I think is compromising to patient care. And I don't care what kind of piece of paper you got in front of my face, especially when I have standards and you're telling me to ignore them. But to Ms. Sharon's, point, I didn't blast it on local news, right? So there's also this question of when do we report? How do we report? Has she gone to her supervisors yet? Has she filed safety reports? Had these type of anonymous reports been sent earlier? Could this have been avoided? So I do wonder, especially to Hank's point, is there a way that we can get staff to engage more with these reporting trees so that we have the opportunity to catch these issues before they become massive blowouts? Because some people don't even know you can do a safety report on your own.
Right.
True. True. Because no one ever told them.
Nobody showed you where it's at.
They didn't take the time. I'm all for corporate compliance and reporting stuff. If you've ever heard me speak, you hear me say, if you got something going wrong and you know it's wrong, and you've been to your manager and your manager said it's okay, and you've been to everybody and they all said it's okay. If it really bothers you, the corporate compliance is there. It's supposed to be anonymous. But, and I say this and people, they think it's as a joke, but I'm serious. Then you write the script and you give the script to Nene, your cousin. And you have Nene call corporate compliance. And you let Nene complain.
That's right.
And Nene call every week. Now, when they come to you, because you need to keep your job.
Because you need to keep your job.
And they say,
I was comfortable walking away from mine, but I know not everybody can do that.
They say, did you call corporate compliance? You say, no, I didn't. Because you didn't. Nene did. And until they ask me about Nene, I don't know nothing.
That's right.
But I will tell you that it takes, it's sad, in the Commonwealth of Virginia, it took about 4 months of complaining about Da Vinci handpieces not being cleaned according to the IFU to the state and to corporate compliance before they finally sent the state in. And what they did is they sent the state to every facility in that program on the same day. So everybody got a knock at 8 o'clock. So they had no opportunity to run and unlock the doors.
There you go.
Because they caught them. And they shut their program down. But it was because people finally complained and complained and complained and complained. And then the doctors started realizing that their Da Vinci patients were having infections and they couldn't figure out why. Nobody thought about the instrumentation, right? They don't even know we exist. No one said, do you think the instrument could be dirty? So everybody, they were treating patients and life was going on. But then when the complaint got to the state, the doctor started saying, it could be.
Could be.
And then they found out that, at that time that it was flush, brush, ultrasonic. This is many years ago. They didn't even have ultrasonic. So how did you get to the main cleaning cycle if you couldn't do the third step?
Come on.
Yep. Yep.
You couldn't do the third step.
Yep.
And that's what bothered the people in SPD. We can't even do the third step. How did we get to 4, 5, and 6?
How did we move on down the line?
They
How does
actually
that happen?
promoted not having the ultrasonic at one point. Because I went to a Hspa conference where there was a facility that didn't have an ultrasonic who actually came front stage and demonstrated how they cleaned it without having an ultrasonic.
Oh yeah.
That was a long time ago.
Okay, because I'm not going to let it be a barrier from you purchasing it, right?
Right. And there's still sold them.
And that's one of the places where I feel like vendors can help, because if that's a part of your package, they're gonna listen to you when you tell them that you need this sonic to go with this robot. Far easier than they're gonna take the pill from me when you've already told them that this amazing thing is coming, and then I have to be the one to tell them that they need to add on at least another $100K. Let's not even talk about construction, So
well, they spent the millions of dollars. I said that they should have had it as a package,
right?
They should have said, you get this when you buy a car, the steering wheel come with the car.
Because if that's what it takes to get it clean, then why do I have to be the lone person down here advocating for
they spent millions for the Da Vinci. What was another $100,000?
Yeah, and it's not even the steering wheel; it's the engine.
Come on.
Well, you're right. You need an engine.
Come on.
You need some wheels.
Mm-hmm.
You go buy the car. They don't just say, "Here's a body."
You're right.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So they were out the intuitive.
Oops.
She making the money. But if they had just went ahead and added in
it can still be done.
It would have helped us.
It would have helped us tremendously. And since we already said your name, you know what else can help us? Get that saline off my assembly side with that new IP scope. I already asked you nicely. Okay. Man, this has been an amazing Hot Topics episode. We didn't even get to all the hot topics because this was too much, and the crowd was all the way with us. So thank y'all so much for joining us tonight. And before we leave, I'm gonna hang out a little longer because I just want to remind everybody, today is the last day to vote for the HSPA Board of Directors. So if you have not put your pledge in, you need to do so at this time. This is the board that will be representing us for this next. Some of the terms are 2 years. So please head to your email, because I was already sent to you if you've been a member for more than 30 days, and cast your vote.
You're absolutely right, Monique. You're absolutely right.
Let me give a little shout out to all those who participated: Jardine, Zawa, Rebecca, Miss Angie, Dawn, Monique, Dante, Leslie, Arlene, Monique. I said Monique? Yep. Yes. I think that's about it. And Hank Ball.
Yes, Hank. Giving us Jesse, y'all out there.
Ofui.
Hey, Ofui. Joanne. All right, so I'm gonna play a quick commercial.
Jesse Lopez.
Jesse Lopez. The one and the only. Maybe that's why we didn't get to the scope thing today, because I actually need to get Jesse up here before we get to the scopes. Okay. I'm gonna play a quick commercial. Now, y'all know the last time I tried to be production, it didn't go over well. So fingers crossed.
Don't forget Jake.
Oop, hold on.
You got it. Let's go. You got it.
Hello, my fellow sterile processing colleagues. I'm Sarah B. Cruz, CSPDT, CRCST, CHL, Certified CSS Nerd. I am here to formally introduce myself as the nominee for the HSPA's Board of Directors. I am so honored to be nominated by you all to represent our profession at this level. As a director, I'd work with the board members to drive the HSPA's mission to provide quality education, professional opportunities, and to represent to the healthcare industry that we are more than the people downstairs, that we are patient safety professionals that break the chain of infection every day. I am purpose-driven in my communication, advocacy, and representation of our industry. advocating for sterile processing professionals from a local HSPA chapter all the way to the C-suite. I take great pride in representing what we do on the front line on social media, publications, and speaking commitments. I work diligently to build bridges to be that liaison between the industry and the frontline technician. That's right, folks. Donning my scrubs and bouffant and being involved in the department workflow every day. The polls are now open for voting until April 6th. A voting link has been sent to your current HSPA email address. Don't forget to check your spam, junk, or other folders if not located in your inbox. If my vision of sterile processing mirrors your ambitions and goals, I would be honored if you voted for me. If you have any questions about how the HSPA and I can help you effectively become the professional you want to be, please reach out to me at sbwcruz@pretreatcss.com or direct message on the social media platform you're currently viewing this video on. If sterile processing is the heart of the hospital, you are the pulse. Your voice matters to the hum of our industry and the tone of sterile processing in healthcare. Let's make it resonate throughout the healthcare industry and put the CSS in success by voting for your HSPA Board of Directors. Thank you all for this awesome opportunity to represent you and allowing me to be a part of your sterile processing journey. Bye.
Oh, bye.
That's
Bye.
Awesome. So good luck to all the nominees. We
Good
had Ken with us, Sarah Cruz, Abdul Hassan. Who else was here? Beati was here.
Mhm.
Tamara came on. Monique Jokes. Who else? There was somebody else, wasn't there? Anderson and what's it? Andy Bowden? What's his name? Forgive me, y'all. Help me out. Anthony joined us. So I think we almost hit every nominee this year. They came on. If you didn't get a chance to watch them, just head over to YouTube and look up the last couple shows. We did 3 episodes of interview content, so you can really be sure about how you want to cast your votes. And if you want to hear how I casted mine, let me know in the comments, and I'll make a little video for you.
Interesting.
That's all I want to know.
All
Yep.
right.
We also had
Everybody here
Joanne on
voted,
there,
right?
too.
Come
Of course.
on, of course. Densley, yeah, we had Densley on. Absolutely, he was amazing. And shout out to all the nominees because they were all doing phenomenal work in the field prior to being nominated, and this will just be another opportunity for them to bring about great change. So I was very comfortable casting my vote for anyone this year. Which was a different experience because, as y'all know, I joined the process off of the conversation around this topic this time last year, and I was excited to see the amount of diversity from people from different countries, from people from different age brackets, different genders, all types of backgrounds, nurses, everybody was there. So it was an amazing cast of folks to pick from. So go cast your vote.
Definitely, guys. Make sure you vote. You don't have to go to vote. Just click on your email.
It's already in your inbox.
It's easy.
All
Thank you,
right.
Miss Green Golden. She's on mute.
Yes. Get you off mute.
If you don't vote, don't complain.
Heard that. Drop the bomb on that. That's the end of the show. If you don't vote, don't complain.
They gonna do that anyway. Oh my goodness.
It's over. That's it. That's all you need to know.
Thank you so much, Cylindra Bearfield, for coming back as a process vet. Thank you, Miss Sharon Green Golden, because you always drop bombs when
party
you're here.
crashed. Y'all just happened to be riding along and picked it up. Y'all know
right? She hopped in the Batmobile. She answered the call.
We're gonna see you a couple weeks, right?
Right?
Yes. Listen.
Mhm.
Monique is speaking. Anthony is speaking. Dave Jagrossi is speaking. I'm speaking on Monday morning at 8:30. I expect to see you there.
Oh, you know we'll be there.
Definitely.
Look, what stage can I get on? How do we do this? We want to slide in.
Well, you have to put your when they call for presentations.
Tell the people how
you have to put your program in. So by that time, you really have to already have
you ready to go?
Your program down. you know, the objectives, what it is you're trying to get out there. You want to try to find something that everybody isn't talking about. You know, we can't all go talk about the gas prices. So if your program is about the gas, mine about the gas, one of us not going to get to talk about the gas.
There you go.
So, you know, find something that is relevant, that you're passionate about, and come and share. The other thing that's down here, Jesse wrote it down. I'm going to the HSPA and the scrub ball, Jesse. I will be at them both.
Hold up.
multi tripping. Go to everything.
Now, listen.
The scrub ball is really, the last year was their first year, was their inaugural year. This year, the whole city of Dallas is in, the mayor is in. It's gonna be wonderful. And so I think that's good. Hank said, well, Hank, you can call me.
Thank you.
Beyond Clean too.
Pull up
I'm just saying.
Oh,
Inviting us all.
He said I'm pre-approved. I made the cut. Look at me now, Mom. Oh my goodness. So speaking of that moment, my first HSPA conference back when it was Isham was, I believe, 2018. We were in Long Beach, and that was my first time getting to go to a conference. And I actually met Hank Bosch there for the first time and got to learn about the podcast and how everything went. So it's a total full circle moment that we finally get to go back. And I'm coming back in this capacity as a podcaster. I thought that was kind of cool, right? So new stuff. Like Miss Sharon is coming back as a published author. You know, it's just it's a cool event.
Yes. And I've been going to the meeting since 1998. I've been going forever.
She been going.
You know, and I started going on my own. I went for me. I didn't go for anybody else, but for me. I felt the passion. I wanted to learn, and I started going, saving my money and going to conferences. The hospital didn't send me. So I think at some point, as a professional, you have to decide, this is what I'm going to do.
Absolutely.
That's what professionals do. We go, we learn, we stay learned. We're fortunate. We have Beyond Clean. We have so many. There is no reason for us now in this field to say we don't know.
Nope, none.
There's free CEUs out there. Now, I remember when we had to pay.
Hey,
there's free CEUs out there.
And as fancy as it was then, I remember when the only thing we had for free was like Crazy for Clean. I mean, so imagine, you know, where we are now with what's available. I mean, we even have additional
the support is getting there.
Getting there.
I will say that I am happy as a person on the downside to say that I'm glad to see where everything is going. I support as much as I possibly can. This is my passion. I have a podcast. I haven't done it this year, and I'm sure that someone's going to write me in a few minutes, but the view from my window.
We need the view from our window.
Thursday Thoughts. And I'm going to tell you why. So many of you all started podcasts until I felt podcast overload. And I just didn't want to be part of an overload. And so I have been reluctant to do it because, like everybody, you know, Wednesday, Thursday, all the hours is
the schedule is full, honey.
And
come on.
Work.
And
there's always room. There's always room. There's always room.
Come on.
The talent is different.
I'm working to get myself back to that, but I love supporting. And if you say something and I'm passionate about it, then, you know, I'll write on or I'll jump on. You know,
there you go.
You know, but I will get back to that because I'm getting ready to slow it all the way down. So I'm gonna have time to podcast from Bali, so it'll be all right.
Bali, Dubai.
We are happy to come on location to shoot with you, TT. Okay.
Yep. Sponsors, you heard that? We're going to Bali. Right? Come on.
Yes. So yeah, I mean, I do agree. I put your money where your mouth is. Sometimes, you know, conferences, we came out of pocket for them this year. We're gonna go to both. We wanted to make a presence as much for our businesses as well as the education and the networking opportunities. So, you know, there's a million ways to do it. There's virtual now. Beyond Clean just wrapped up the SPX conference for 2022. And all of the chapters are doing amazing things right now. So get out there and get educated.
And support.
Please.
Support.
Please,
And
please.
you know, the biggest thing is that we don't like to this is general, don't like to support one another, but we want to be supported.
Absolutely.
The way you get supported is to support.
There you go.
So you support other people who have things, and
Thank you.
your day will come.
Thank you so much, Ms. Green Golden and Cylindra Bearfield for joining us tonight for this episode of Hot Topics.
Yes, I'm ready for another one of these. That was fun.
Thank you guys so much. Appreciate you guys coming on. Appreciate all the guys in the comments, all the guys coming out tonight. Thank you. It's late, guys. Thank you so much. Alessandra,
if
you
it's
have
your
another
first
show coming on or something?
I do. Speaking of the schedule being full, every other Monday I will be doing the Behind the Red Line podcast, where we talk about mental health issues that are facing our healthcare employees. We will definitely touch on some of the topics that we talked about today. Our first episode aired 2 weeks back. You can find it on the YouTube channel and everywhere that the Process podcast is aired.
And also, I have a show coming out called Voices. Now, I'd love to have Miss Green Golden on also. It's,
catch her now, okay? She back.
Oh yeah, catch her because she's gonna disappear. And it's interviewing entrepreneurs or interesting persons who have stories to tell. So it's not based on your profession generally.
Oh, good, because I got stories.
Your whole life experience from growing up, wearing diapers.
And the Bali episode will be on location. Just remember that part.
So it's an interview from your whole entire life experiences, your ups and downs, how you became successful, and where you're moving forward to, or where you are in business, life, and your profession right now. So it's going to be airing on Sunday evenings. So guys, stay tuned for that. It's called Voices.
Oh, that sounds good. Well, let me do my shameless plug. I just started my nonprofit. It's the SPD Education Fund, and my whole mission and goal is to take care of our patients one tech at a time. And the goal is for you to be able to go to conferences, for you to be able to take any kind of certification or course that will help you be a better person, a better tech. If you're trying to get your certification, if you're trying to get books, to raise that type of money so you do not have education or financial barriers to education. So we just got our exemption through the IRS. So it is legit. So you will get a tax write-off when you do donate. So I'm just getting started off with that. So it will be more in the future for you to see.
There we go. Come on. Be the change you want to see in the world.
Yes.
All right. Thank y'all for joining us for another episode of the Process Podcast. We'll see you next week, Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time.
Peace.
Peace.
Bye.